Auditions are different. I mean, I would say this, though. When we did Good Will Hunting, I remember it was the first time that I'd sat on the other side of the table. And I always went in with a real chip on my shoulder, thinking like, you know, feeling because you get rejected so much, you kind of go like, all right, you're going to reject me, and you kind of walk in with this chip on your shoulder. Now, it wasn't until I sat on the other side of the table that I realized you want the actor to be great. You want the actor to take the part, because that solves all your problems. If an actor walks in off the street and blows your doors off, you know, that's a big win for the production, right? So I think understanding that might be useful for people to know going in, that like people are desperate for you to be great. So be great.
One piece of advice and one piece of advice only. Love what you do, because you probably are not going to get rich. You're probably not going to become famous. You're not going to get on the cover of People magazine. You're not going to get on TMZ. You're not going to own a mansion. You're not going to own a Ferrari. You're probably not going to make it. A few people do, but if you do, it's a great life. If you don't, you can still act, but you have to act in community theater. You have to act wherever it is. Actors are actors. I was with a guy on a plane the other night. He's an actor. I'm not going to tell you his name. He didn't care about the money. That's all great stuff. Mm-hmm. We act, because more times than not, you won't be acting. You want to work every day, go to 7-Eleven, get a job at 7-Eleven. You'll work every day if you want to. Actors, you do not work every day. You do it because you love it. Chances are you will fail.
I would say stay true to yourself, stay true to God, stay true to those around you, and don't let this town change any of that, you know. Unfortunately, a lot of people come here and they get really lost, and they think that they need to let go of anything and everything in order to get it, and it's not worth it. If you let go of who you are to get it, then you shouldn't have gotten it to begin with. It's not worth it, yeah. So that's what I would say.
We live in a charmed business. This is make-believe. We basically dress up and we do these things and we get paid for it. What you can never do is lose sight of the fact that this is a great opportunity. And when you wake up in the morning, I remember working with Tom Cruise. He came to the set laughing. I said, "What's going on with you?" He said, "Man, we're doing a movie." And here's a guy who had done hundreds of movies, but he was still excited about it. Never lose your enthusiasm, never lose your excitement. And what my good friend Norby Walter said, never too big to say hello. And that means everything. If you never get too big, if you always look at this as like art, you will always have the passion, you will always have the enthusiasm. It's when people start looking at the money that they've made, the publicists that they have, or the entourage that they've built around them, that's when they start to falter. So just keep the enthusiasm.
Love what you do. Make sure you love it, because it's a rocky road. It's not a surefire gig, you know. So as long as you love it, you're succeeding. When Addiction first got started, we didn't imagine in our wildest dreams that we would amount to anything. So as a result of that, we stayed true to what we wanted to do. We played the music we wanted to make, because we were the ones that ultimately had to be happy with. And by doing that, we got somewhere and we're different. So I would say, because we loved doing that is what was helpful for us. We didn't have goals like gold records or girls or cars or money, like a lot of the stuff that today's media dangles in front of artists as, you know, what the pot of gold is at the end of the road. That's not what it's about, because you can watch a million artists time and time again reach that pot of gold and ultimately be miserable. And that's happened over and over again, and some of our greatest talents have died due to suicide and drug addiction, because that isn't the answer. So the truthful answer is to stay motivated, stay positive, stay in love with your craft, and you can't go wrong.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. You can never give up. You're going to hear a lot of no's and get a lot of doors slammed in your face, but you cannot ever say, "I give up." Because if you do that, you'll never know if you were going to make it. I've been doing it since I was 14. Well, clearly I'm not a teenager anymore, so it's been a long time, and it takes a while. You know, you look at actors like Sam Jackson. He didn't really hit till he was 30-something years old. Sometimes it happens sooner or later, but you can never give up. Always follow your dream, and no is one day. The next day, someone's going to say yes, eventually. You know what I mean? So that is one thing, and always challenge yourself, you know, on your craft and what you're capable of doing. Don't just get stuck in one thing. That's easy.
Be true to your dreams. You know, be true to what you hear and stay with it, stick with it. It's really important to be an individual. Don't try to copy anybody else. Of course, if you have people that you like, listen to them, and you go through that phase, but find your own voice. That's my advice.
Taking a class is a good idea. I also think that self-examination after every audition, I would walk out like every actor does, thinking, okay, what went well and what didn't, and retaining retaining what went well, and learning the hard way what doesn't work well, because I've made every mistake that if you do it for a couple decades, you will have made every mistake in the book probably. Common mistakes for me, and everybody's different, is that trying to achieve some sort of perfection, being word perfect with a script.
Just come original and bring something different, but it has to be up to standards. You can't just make music and it's got to be good for the masses, not just for yourself. Because a lot of times artists will make music that they like, but you got to be able to have a target marketing plan to go with it. You can't just do music that you like and you're the only one that likes it. You got to make music for someone and the masses in order for you to be successful.
Nobody could emulate anybody. That's the first piece of advice. Second piece of advice is go through any door that opens, and if there isn't a door, make your door. And don't think because you're an actor you can't try to be a comedian. Don't think if you're a comedian you can't try to be a writer. And don't think anything is beneath you or below you. And just work and don't worry about the money. I don't want to hear there wasn't enough money. There is no money in the beginning. It's your apprenticeship. I have no craft. I'm a comedian. I just started as a writer, and then I was an actress, and the door opened in comedy. And I went through the door in comedy, which brought me back to being a writer and an actress. If you're thinking whether you should be in the business, you should not be in the business. This is not a business of choice. This is a business of calling. This is a business of 100% dedication with all else falling around and away from you.
It's got to be a choice. There's no backup plan. So if you're here to do it, you're here to do it. It's a tough industry, but I mean, if there's nothing else for you, then you'll be fine if you keep at it. Chill out, relax, because they want you to do just as well as you want to do in the room. They're rooting for you. They're not against you, even though it seems intimidating. But just trust me, relax and prepare, and then let it go when you get in the room.
Perseverance. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it, man, and don't let nobody tell you no. And if this is what you want to do, this is what you want to do.
Well, my first advice to give anybody who's in Hollywood is to definitely keep God first, and then you just need to make sure you keep yourself together. Keep your body together, make sure you stay in shape, make sure you stay on your craft, make sure you're out giving to other people. And it's really important to give, so you take the focus off yourself, because sometimes us actors can get a little bit all about ourselves. So it's awesome to get involved with a charity that you believe strongly in and give back.
If it's your dream, if you have a real passion to do it, then the results shouldn't matter. That's how you're going to find success. If you're doing something that you love, then you're not result oriented, then continue following your passion and your dream, and then you'll probably end up getting those results. Those dreams will probably come true.
When making your way into the business is find a good manager and let them navigate through the record companies and the agencies and all of that. And from that point, they'll surround you with the people who are going to help to complement all your efforts. And then the key is going to be to listen and get as much advice from them as you can. Pay attention to it. Try to take it to heart. If they have a lot of experience, then you need to draw on that. And ultimately, make the decision for yourself. Just make sure it's an informed decision.
Everybody at ExploreTalent.com.
ExploreTalent.com.
ExploreTalent.com.